You are watching ACC Lacrosse presented by Ally. Welcome to Blacksburg, Virginia. The Hokies hosting the Louisville Cardinals today. A little lacrosse action coming your way on a chilly Saturday afternoon at Thompson Field. Glad that you are with us with the former Virginia star, Dana Boyle, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. So both of these teams, they are looking to take a leap up the ACC standings with a handful of games left in the regular season. What is at stake for both of these teams today?
It means something different. If you're Louisville, your back is against the wall. You have lost 6 games in a row, so you're playing for your pride and your morale. You need that chemistry going into the middle of the ACC tournament, and they're all fighting for that spot. And if you're Louisville, you've got to do really well in this game against an ACC strong foe in Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech coming off a breakthrough win, 3 overtimes against Duke, so they're trending in the right direction. They need this ACC win as well for their seeding.
Yeah, critical win last week against a ranked Duke team where Maura O'Malley entered the chat.
She absolutely did. I mean, she might be the hero last week for women's lacrosse. She has been playing excellent since that Pitt game. She got a chance in that game to make a breakthrough, and she did just that, stepping up even more so in that Duke game. She's got a real physical presence. She's strong, and she's just a sophomore, Kevin.
Yeah, you see the game winner there in a third overtime over Duke. Terrific stuff from the sophomore from Rhode Island. Meanwhile, for Scott Teeter's Cardinal squad, started 4-2, but they're searching, Dana. They've lost 6 straight, couple of close games, some lopsided ones as well, as you see, based on the numbers. And a critical loss for his team in this game today. Nicole Peroni, who has scored 28 goals, their most prolific scorer, Dana, is out today after getting a red card in that loss to Clemson last week.
That's a huge loss if you're Louisville. She is not only their producer on the field in terms of goals and points and draw controls, but she's really their emotional leader. So to have her on the bench, not even on the bench, in the stands, once you get a red card, you actually have to be removed from the field. To not have her as a presence on the field should be difficult. That's a real challenge for Louisville.
You saw her there in the stands. We can elaborate more on it later, but it does seem excessive, maybe even silly, to be separated from the team based upon the protocol there in the rule books. However, Louisville is going to have to play without her, and the scoring is going to have to come from somewhere else as they look for their first win in 7 tries. Just about ready to go on a chilly, low 40s afternoon in Blacksburg.
They lied to us when they said lacrosse was a spring sport, Kevin.
Those cold fronts got to watch out from this time of year. And off the draw. Here come the Hokies this way to get things started.
And they have really excelled at the draw. If you watch that last Duke game, they found a way to neutralize Maddie Jenner, who is one of the best. And oftentimes, the draw stat can be misleading. But if you win that draw and then you win possession, good things happen. That's a great way to start this game.
Yeah, and you've been complimentary of Gresham and that she was critical, her presence in that 1-goal win last week, a very significant one for Virginia Tech. Played a lot of difficult opponents. That was her first ranked win. Great pass right in front to Kayla Frank, who mishandled things, and Louisville collects right in front of the net.
It's pretty uncharacteristic for Kayla Frank. She's really good handling the ball, but credit to Louisville for crashing in. They had 3 red jerseys around Kayla Frank, but good hustle trying to get it back.
After the whistle, Virginia Tech keeps it on this end. So Virginia Tech offense led by Olivia Vergano. So she is their top goal scorer, their team leader in points, number 4 in the black towards the bottom of the screen.
And just another sophomore, Kevin. She had an incredible freshman campaign, and she's really been building off of that. You can see she's playing with more confidence. She's dishing the ball. She's taking it herself. She's also directing the offense, which is a huge step in her leadership.
It's a youthful Hokies team that has grown over the course of this season, particularly in ACC play.
And it's been fun to watch. This is Kristen Skyra's second year as a head coach, and they're already making huge strides in the right direction.
Claire Shada got another close-range catch, backed up by the Hokies, and so Virginia Tech keeps it on this end.
And that's why it's so important to have a backup. Unlike other sports, if you shoot and it goes behind the cage and you have a player, whoever's the closest player will get possession. So that's a big opportunity for a second possession. It also wears down the defense.
Frank draws the contact inside the arc. And so here's an opportunity for the Hokies. Yep.
And this is different than a free throw in basketball. It is very much contested. It is not easy. You have to have a quick first step.
Oh, and Frank lost it. Boy, and for Frank this year, yeah. This is where Louisville has had some struggles, you could say, of late, is on the clear.
And credit to Virginia Tech, Kevin, for swarming that ball. You can get second and third opportunities in the ride, and that's a lot of the times dependent on your attackers.
Boy, and Dana, for Frank this year, it's felt like she's shooting freebies at the line. She was 5 of 5 on free positions this season. And another whistle. This is Ella Rishko, number 5 in the black. A prolific goal scorer in her own right. 20 on the year. Make it 21. And Virginia Tech scores first.
That's making the most of your opportunities there. It was a shooting space call. Louisville was in the way. You can't be in the way with that 6 length. And great job by number 5, Ella Rishko. Protects her stick from the Louisville defender and just places it in. You don't always have to shoot hard. It is sometimes better to shoot with finesse, and she does just that. Great job changing levels to get around Sarah Adesh, the goalkeeper for Louisville. Tech's on the board first.
Adesh, the junior from Foxborough, has been the starter all year for the Cardinals. And there you go. Rishko now with 21 on the season, right behind Vergano. There's Kristen Skyra. So second season as the head coach, went 9-9 a year ago. She's got a very young team, youthful squad, as we mentioned, that is growing right before our eyes. And before that, you saw, Dana, all those years at Army helping transition the lacrosse program there from club to varsity.
She did an incredible job at Army, and it is in good hands with Michelle Tumalo now. But she's come into this Tech program and really invigorated new chemistry, new life. She loves the relationship with her players that she's building, and you can tell because they love her back, and you're getting that chemistry between player and coach. And it was funny. She said, I've been a little bit more hard this year. Last year I was picking and choosing when I would go in on them, and this year I'm finding my footing as a head coach. So she's doing a really great job and a good human being, and that makes the world of a difference.
Yeah, very positive, engaging personality and presence. And has a team that definitely responds to her coaching, very accountable. And a team that is trying to climb up the ACC standings with just a couple of weeks left in the regular season. Great look right on the doorstep for Rishko again. That time, Adesh was there.
So the ball's going to start where the point of the foul occurred.
So the Cardinals are coming back this way. It's first 5 minutes of this game has been dominated, and Virginia Tech's attacking third. So Louisville trying to get it back on the other side. As we mentioned, it's a Louisville team. You see the record. They're 1-5. The one conference victory against Pitt a little more than a month ago. And they've lost 6 in a row, but that is almost just another example of welcome to the ACC. Losses against ranked teams like Syracuse, Clemson, UNC. not often do you play the number 1 ranked team twice in a season. Of course, Louisville faced UNC when they were still unbeaten and atop the polls, and then Syracuse a couple of weeks later after the Tar Heels had dropped the game.
And what's wild is there's a potential for them to all meet again in the ACC championship.
Louisville gives that one away, and so Jocelyn Torres, so she is the freshman goalkeeper for the Hokies, that scoops that one up.
And if you're Louisville, 4 possessions, 4 turnovers. That is not good. That is something that Coach Teeter said we need to be better at making a full 60-minute effort. Usually they play pretty well in the first half, and then that third quarter is where the wheels fall off. But if you're getting possessions, you've got to give your defense a break by scoring.
Well, what is critical to that, especially today without a player like Peroni on the field? Nice takeaway there.
And I think Hannah Morris is a player that has been stepping up. She's been a little sleepy to start in terms of her goal production, but she's someone that in this game has to step up and really take charge of the offense.
Yeah, it's the 5th-year senior from Ontario. She is number 4 in the red, so keep an eye out for Morris. Louisville only scores about 9 goals a game. It's been a challenge in recent weeks and throughout the month of March against some of the best in the ACC.
You can see their weave up top with the flip passes is sort of mimicking what Syracuse does on their offense. That's what Team Canada does on their offense.
Allegra Catalano had a look momentarily. Louisville patient, looking for the best opening. Atkins passed in front. Torres trying to scoop it up, and then Virginia Tech gathers it. That's Sydney Galini.
And we talk about how young the offense is. The defense is old, minus Jocelyn Torres, who's a freshman. So they've been playing many, many years together. Mary Griffin, you see here, number 10. Such a staple for this defensive end, a real leader.
A veteran defensive unit for the Hokies. And a great group to have surrounding the freshman Torres in the net. So after the whistle, Louisville regathers.
This is a gift for them, this possession.
And so now that's the 3rd turnover for the Hokies. Louisville on the heels of the loss to Clemson, lost 19-8. That was last weekend on the road against the 22nd ranked Tigers. There's Kokoro Nakazawa. Passes in front, and then the whistle.
Good job by Louisville knowing when to not take that shot. You saw 26 pump, saying hello to the officials. I have a shot, but I'm not going to take it because it would be dangerous. So good heads-up play by Rachel Lifson, but she'll get an 8-meter.
This is the senior, bounces it and scores. And so Louisville ties things up.
Much needed score for Louisville here. They got to get on the board. They got to counter punch and punch back when Virginia Tech fires away.
Just a vital win last weekend for Virginia Tech. It's first against a ranked team this season. And Dana, this game delivered in a lot of ways. Both teams went on 4-goal runs, but neither led by a couple of goals. We went to overtime where Maura O'Malley sent the game into the extra periods with that goal there at the end of regulation. Another one, the game winner. And that was a really well-earned victory for Virginia Tech and for Kristen Skyra's team, something that was they wanted on the heels of that Boston College loss the week prior.
That game was so dramatic, and I am always here for the drama, but what was most impressive about that overtime game win for Virginia Tech was the draw control. So Maddie Jenner is the best to ever do it in the draw circle. She's 6'1", and Sarah Gresham and Olivia Vergano found a way to neutralize. They weren't necessarily winning draws 1v1, but they were kicking it to the circle play, and so they played really well as a draw unit, and that is how they found success and gained possession. against a really good Duke team. That was an amazing game.
I mean, they were 20 out of 32 on draw control, so 63% against, as you mentioned, one of the best to ever do it.
And to their credit, Virginia Tech utilized their resources, so they had club players come and mimic what Maddie Jenner would do on the draw. They had a club player who was 6'2" come and take draws against Sarah Grisham, and so she was able to get some practice in kicking it to Vergano. But the consistency and the chemistry between Grisham and Vergano, I think, is something that people should pay attention to.
Well, and Gresham, of course, leads the team in draw controls, but Vergano is right there with the 63 on the season. And is that not a brilliant example of, just terrific game planning and coaching, figuring out how to exploit a matchup?
And the stick technology has changed so much at the draw circle, so it's really interesting to see the differences in, am I going to win it to myself? Am I going to kick it away from a draw taker like Maddie Jenner? And it's really a 3v3 game in the circle, and that's very different when I played, so it's fun to watch. It's much more of a specialized position.
And so Coach Skyra, the former All-American at Duke, upends her alma mater. Maybe it's
also
giving Virginia Tech a little extra life and rejuvenation now on the heels of a tough loss to BC.
And I called their game last year, Virginia Tech versus Duke, and it was a 1-goal game. Duke came out victorious, so I knew that meant a little something more added to the drama there for Kristen Skyra.
Boy, did you see just a few moments ago, Ella Rishko, there's the yellow card, by the way. Ella Rishko on the attack down the alley slipped. It has not been very favorable weather in this region the last couple of days. And there's the look at the yellow card.
So it looks like that's on Claire Shada, number 30. So she'll sit for 2 minutes. It is releasable on a Louisville score, but anytime the stick goes, imagine a sphere around your head. Anytime a stick goes in that head, neck area, that is a safety call. The officials are very much looking out for that. You've got to be careful about that, especially when conditions aren't great and you are slipping. I don't think that was egregious by any means, but she did hit her in the head, so it was a good call by the officials.
And so the junior from Charlottesville has to take a seat. So you see player up now for Louisville. Yeah, golden opportunity for the Cardinals on the heels of scoring its first goal and answering what Virginia Tech did right out of the chute. Now, what's critical here when you got the advantage?
You want to take your time and you want to work the ball around, but there is an open player, but you have to find it. They're a little tight, Louisville. You see a lot of red jerseys. Spread it out. Find that open player.
There's a rip, and that one goes wide. Oh,
they're
and
going to award a yellow
going back
card
to Virginia Tech.
So they're going to award a yellow card on that. That's most likely a dangerous shot. We'll take a look at the replay. Yeah, you can see the official signal with his hands up and across. So you've got to be aware as the shooter who is in my lane to shoot. So 99 will sit 2 minutes. It is releasable on a Virginia Tech score.
And you see the frustration there from Izzy Cycle. And so that player up advantage for Louisville disappears very quickly.
It's not great. Not great.
Four minutes to go in the first. Knotted up at 1. This is Rishko. Finds the back of the net. It's 2-1.
I think they should run that play more often because they just scored with what looked like ease. And they did this in the Duke game. They had the high 1v1. So number 5, Ella Rishko, she comes from that left quadrant, and she's just going with pure speed. So if you're a Louisville defender, you have to put a body on her. The stick is not going to be enough. She's not afraid of that. She's going to run through. Just a really hard 1v1 dodge.
Yeah, that time blowing by Coyle and Nakazawa. So now it's 22 goals for Rishko. She's got both of them. And Dana, she was critical last week as well. Had the hat trick in that Duke victory. A really efficient shooter as well, whereas Vergano takes the lion's share of the shot attempts. Rishko is just very efficient with her shot percentage.
It's been fun to watch her. She took a larger role in the Duke game after coming up in the BC game with 4 goals. But what's funny was Kristen Skyra said, you know, you're not going to start in that BC game. And she said, okay, like, you know, I'm going to come off the bench. And she really rose to that challenge. You could go either way as a player. You could be upset that you're not going to start in that BC game, but she took it as motivation. Came in off the bench against Boston College, 4 goals. Comes in and plays an excellent game versus Duke. So she is trending in the right direction. And she's still really young. She's just a freshman. So to get that game experience, to struggle with not starting, I think is really beneficial.
Yeah, brilliant campaign in her rookie season. So 25 points now. And Virginia Tech takes the 1-goal advantage. And that's the 3rd draw circle win in a row for the Hokies.
10 seconds. Go.
So Virginia Tech waiting for its player to be released. And there you go. Here comes Shada. So it's an advantage for the Hokies.
And check out that face guard, Kevin, on Vergano. We thought we might see that. Coach Teeter teed us up for it, but number 18 is going to go against Vergano, so Sydney Kirchenheider. Louisville's pretty famous for the face guard. Last year they had Sarah Blaylock on the defensive end play really well against an amazing Charlotte North in their Boston College game and did a good job limiting her. They didn't stop Charlotte North, but that throws a wrinkle in your offense if you're Virginia Tech. How do you deal with the face guard?
Oh, and Kirchenheider, just a freshman herself. Nice fake. It's Hannah Mardiney. Pass in front into traffic. Virginia Tech collects it. Rishko back to X. Mardiney. 4 seconds to shoot. Had to throw it towards the cage, and Adesh picks it off. So Louisville withstands the pressure for now. Hey, so remember our next featured baseball game on the ACC network Thursday night. 20th ranked Miami, number 13 North Carolina. They start a 3-game series at Boshamer Stadium. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. Louisville looking to knot things up. This is Nakazawa. That one's batted down. Nice save that time from Torres.
I don't think that was a bad opportunity. Not a bad opportunity. She just got to step down more to cage. Look at this. Mary Griffin, the defender. She wants the ball. She's in the O.
And then a whistle. So the Hokies putting pressure on Louisville that time with the quick transition look.
That was the right decision. If you assess the defense and you realize you don't have numbers up to pull it out. I wanted that give and go with Mary Griffin. I love when defenders score. Nothing hypes your team up more when you have a defender score.
She hasn't taken a shot. She has assisted on a goal this season. Griffin has. Instead, it's Shada. Shada now fires high and connects. It's the next best thing. Virginia Tech with another and a 3-1 lead.
Again, just a really heads-up call. They didn't have numbers in transition. Claire Shada gets called for shooting space, so she goes on the 8-meter, and just a really nice job going high. Rachel Lifskin, the goalkeeper for Louisville, is a little bit on the shorter side, so she recognizes with her stick, she fakes it low, and then she goes high.
14th goal in the season now for Shada. She doesn't shoot often, but when she does, it normally goes in. She's 14 out of 19 now. And Dana, your standard celebration. I think what comes with the defensive player scoring is maybe a more effervescent celebration. 1:10 to go in the first. The young Hokies, especially on offense, fresh off the 3 overtime win over Duke. Looking for a home win today to get back above 500 and pick up their 3rd ACC win. They're tied with Clemson right now record-wise, and they'll see the Tigers next week.
That should be very interesting because Clemson has a veteran offense, and it'll be going up against a veteran defense in Virginia Tech.
Well, there's Morris, who you mentioned, who just fired wide. Louisville does back it up inside of a minute. Oh, yeah, there's the whistle. That time, some contact from Jordan Tilley.
She's going to go to the sidelines, so she's going to get a yellow card. She's probably arguably one of their best defenders. She came back for a 5th year. She's a 3-time captain. Again, not anything egregious, but she did hit her in the face. You can see the contact that goes up to the neck. Again, it's just that horizontal stick. Good call by the officials. I think they're trying to keep this game contained and not super aggressive in the point where it gets out of control. I'm okay with the aggression, but you've got to have a differentiation between what's out of control. Good call by the officials.
And so a player up opportunity for the Cardinals. Patient, looking for the best look. Louisville can be selective here. 23 seconds inside the attack. That shot was blocked away, and Torres collects. And so Virginia Tech, with the final seconds winding down, will take a 2-goal lead into the next quarter. Ella Rishko with a couple of goals for the Hokies, plus one more from Claire Shada. So the home team's got the advantage after 1. So 21 consecutive seasons now as a head lacrosse coach for Scott Teeter. The last 6, of course, in Louisville. Those 15 years in Canisius. Remember, he built that program into a MAC power. And he is guiding a youthful team in some areas. They're trying to snap the 6-game skid. So look at the schedule, Dana, outside of the ACC. This is their non-conference slate. Play a couple of ranked teams right off the bat. They were away from home several weeks. They got Cincinnati coming up.
That Denver game stands out to me. Very low scoring. When I think about Louisville, yes, their backs are against the wall and they're still searching for their identity, but their body language, regardless of the loss or they may be trailing in a game, it never really changes. They always sort of have this hope. So to get a win today in the ACC, I think would do wonders for them, not just with their record, but sort of morale overall. But they've got 14 new faces on the roster, so that's also a complexity that gets added when you're a coach like Coach Teeter. Yes, you're in your 6th season, but you've got new faces, new players. You've got to gel. A lot of the times, you don't have that chemistry off the field. It's hard to transfer on the field, so they're still working through some things.
And what gets underscored, particularly today, is you're without your senior leader and veteran, Nicole Peroni. So they just got younger in today's matchup.
Leads the team in 7 different categories, one most importantly being points, and also I would say ground balls and caused turnovers. So you're missing a player who really does it all on both ends of the field.
Yes, there is.
Nakazawa looking, close range attempt. Torres denies her. Boy,
That's
nice work from the freshman.
Great save. That was a good shot by Nakazawa. She faked, she changed her levels, and Jocelyn Torres continues to impress me. A lot of times goalies can sort of make an asymmetric impact on the game, but she comes up with really big saves in big moments, and I love to see that. Her confidence just builds every game.
Coach Sky Repart was really candid with you about Torres' impact and outlining one of the hardest workers and just very, very even keel, accepts coaching well, and is always just trying to get better.
The goalie position is so mental. I could never play goalie. I don't want those shots coming at me like that. But it's such a mental aspect, and Torres is such a lax rat. She watches film. She watches film on tendencies of shooters to have an idea. It's sort of like she does a shot chart like you would in basketball on the floor to see where shooters are going to shoot from. And just to have that layer of want and study and film, I think is going to make her an exceptional goalkeeper as she gets older and older. And she's playing in front of a really veteran defense, so that also helps with confidence.
Our officials gathering now, a few minutes into the second quarter. You never put the goalie gear on and just have some fun in practice at any point, huh?
Absolutely not. There's always a price, so I would be willing to be paid at some price level to do it, but I'm good. Those shots come at 80 miles per hour. I think I'm good. I think I'll take a hard pass.
Look, we know where Dana stands morally. Bribery, we can have a discussion.
Would you get in the cage? You have to answer that.
I think I'm going to follow your wise guidance on this one.
All right.
And also turn down the opportunity.
Respect.
So Louisville back in their attacking third. Looking for a spark after Torres denied Nakazawa a few moments ago. That pass was deflected. Nice work that time by Kayla Frank.
That's why you keep your stick up in the passing lane. Oftentimes you'll hear coach yelling from the sideline, sticks up, sticks up. You never know what you're going to deflect on the defensive end. That's a perfect example of that.
So 6 caused turnovers now for the Hokies. Let's see if they get another clean look against Adesh, junior from Foxborough, Massachusetts. And they sneak one by. The Hokies have lengthened the lead to 3. And there is Maura O'Malley on the board today.
Just going to nickname her the hero. Louisville hadn't turned the ball over in about 9 minutes, and when they did, this is what happens on the offensive end for Virginia Tech. Really good job just getting the ball in the middle. Again, that Louisville defense is not collapsing, and great handle by Maura O'Malley in there. With traffic, she changes the level of her stick and gets it by a dash.
Yeah, the 2 critical goals last week, now 8 on the season, and in just 9 games played. She hasn't played in all 13. She has earned her playing time as this year has played out.
Which is just incredible. I mean, she played in 4 games last year as a freshman and I think took less than 5 shots. And look at her now. But the youth movement for Virginia Tech, it's happening. And it's alive and it's well and it's real. I mean, you look at the goals and production from these freshmen. That is how you grow a program, and that is how you cement yourself in the ACC and make you a competitor.
And a great feed, too, to acknowledge it from Kayla Frank. Frank found the cutter that time, and O'Malley sent it past Adesh. So Louisville needs the answer on this end of the field. Down 3 after scoring the 1 in the first. Adkins flips to Nakazawa. And that is the junior. You have the sisters. Kokoro, number 11 in the red. Negai, number 77. Boy, that time the low shot that skimmed, and Torres was able to knock it down. Great reflexes.
Just barely. When that goal crosses the line, the ball crosses that goal line, it's considered a goal, and that was so very close. So good reflexes by Torres.
So that's now 4 saves for Torres. Now she's making a little more than 8 saves a game. That's 3rd most in the ACC. Again, just a freshman with a lot of upside. Close range look and a strike. It's Carolyn Little with the latest.
This is what happens when you have ball movement on the offensive end, and they were able to transition successfully. Really good job. I love the ball movement. I love that it goes inside, and she just turns around, takes a split second to see if there's a defender there, shoots around her, is able to evade her. Really nice job by Virginia Tech. You can see them picking up offensively. They're finding a little bit more of their rhythm.
Stop us if you heard this one before. Another freshman with a goal for Virginia Tech. And the lead is now 5-1 for the Hokies. A timeout in Blacksburg.
We have our ACC Defender of the Week standing right here.
Yeah, on the heels of an 8-save game against Duke. Recognition in that 3 overtime win. So the freshman Jocelyn Torres between the pipes, Dana, continues to impress. Congrats on the latest achievement.
I love you can hear the teammates say, finally. She's the first Virginia Tech player to win that award since 2018 and just the second freshman goalie ever to record a ranked win. So she is making her mark in Virginia Tech history. And I think that's what happens when you start to get some of those marquee wins, those big ranked wins. You start to get recognized by the conference. So this is just very much the beginning for Virginia Tech. They're slowly asserting themselves in the ACC, and it's really fun to watch the program grow.
What do you make of her abilities, just her mental makeup, how she's handled her freshman season?
It's such a mental position like we were talking about. And I asked her, I spoke with her this week, and I was like, what is your mental reset? And she goes, I quite literally shake it off. So imagine the Taylor Swift music video. That's what she's doing in the cage. She's shaking it off. She's still trying to find her groove, but she's getting more confidence every game.
Wow, Rishko again on that curl to the cage. That's a couple of times she has muscled by her defender.
She loves that right hand, strong hand. She comes from, the left quadrant of the field, and she just does a good job with a hard 1v1. You cannot stop that. I would think you would put a second body on that very quickly as soon as she penetrates the 12-meter. She's a force to be reckoned with. So fun to watch.
It's now a hat trick 20 minutes into this game. She's from Delaware's favorite beach, Rehoboth Beach. 4-time state champ in high school, and so this freshman campaign continues to go right for Rishko. So that's back-to-back games with a hat trick for Rishko. So remember, we are in spring football season. So the schedule continues this Friday and next Saturday on ACCN, also ACCN Extra. So Miami starts it off at 7:30 Eastern. Again, you can catch that one on the app as well.
It's hard to believe spring football is already here, which means college football is
The college
even
football
closer.
season never ends.
I know, I love it. Much needed pickup by Louisville. They need to make something in this transition. Unlucky possession there by Negai Nakazawa, but her teammates, they got her backed up. It's been fun to watch this Louisville offense operate. You see up top the weave that Syracuse does so well, that Team Canada does so well. It's hard to perfect, but ball movement is key here. I'd like to see Hannah Morris get a little bit more involved. Great pickup by Virginia Tech. Great ball movement. And good decision to pull it out. They realized that Louisville had numbers defensively, Kevin, so they were able to pull it back out, start the reset. They've got almost 70 seconds on the shot clock. Good call by the officials. That's going to be shooting space. Got to be within a stick's length defensively. Ella Rishko will go on the line. She'll get an 8-meter.
Another good chance for Rishko, but instead passes it back out.
I like that decision. I do. I think they had a full 56 seconds on the shot clock. Why not pull it out, get the best shot instead of necessarily the first shot? You're up by 5. And she's going back to the line. I'd imagine she takes it this time. Oh, false start.
Ooh, tough break. Now Rishko pleading her case that time. However, Louisville's taken over.
Don't really see the false start a ton on the 8-meter. Sometimes you see it on the draw. A player will move before the ball is set. But that's a gift for Louisville if they can clear the ball successfully.
Oh, especially considering what Rishko has done and how she's performed to this point in the game. So Adkins nearly lost it. Cardinals back in their attacking third. They're in search. One goal that was way back in the first. Low bouncer. That one's wide.
Again, it's that shot backup. So critical to possession, the second and third possessions.
Oh, there's Tilly again. Knocked that one away. It's that veteran Hokies defense surrounding Torres. They're on the move. In a hurry. A chance at the doorstep. Behind the back and a goal. Hannah Mardiney. The sauciness at goal line extended.
She's a veteran player on the attack that is really, really fun to watch. She's really shifty, and she doesn't need a lot of space. I love that. She recognizes that the Louisville defender is in front of her, and she just, boop, behind the back. Really hard for the goalie, Adesh, to track that and save that. That's a pretty goal.
Oh, brilliant recognition there by the senior from Lutherville, Maryland. So now 11 goals on the year.
She's pumped up on the sidelines.
and the bear hug.
I'm surprised there wasn't this glorious celebration. We've seen it so much this year. The sideline celebrations are like off the chart. There must be someone taking stock of this. Usually there's like players throwing up in the air, like borderline dangerous. This was a simple celebration.
It
looks like they're going to
looks like they're going to go review it. Yep.
Huh.
Perhaps Virginia Tech afforded some time to plan out the next sideline celebration for our momentary pause. If it stands, it's a 6-goal advantage for the Hokies.
So my only thought would be that she stepped in the crease, which doesn't look like she did.
Not very close at all, really.
So the official review is something they're experimenting with this year in the ACC. I'm not exactly sure where I stand on it. I like it in terms of challenges, but I fear that it's going to slow the game down even more. But it is a nice option if you're a coach and it's a tight game.
It won't take it away from Mardiney this time, yeah. And so a one-sided first half in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech building confidence. Now it's 1-3 of 4, including a couple of out-of-conference wins away from home. Kristen Skyra, they wanted that Boston College game a couple of weeks ago, let it slip away, and then the bounce-back win at Duke last week against the ranked Blue Devils. So heading in the right direction with just 5 games left in the regular season, including this one.
And you see so much momentum comes off winning that draw. A team is so much more confident when they are dominating in terms of possession. Oftentimes it leads to goals. In this case it is. But it's not that Louisville is not getting the shots. They are. They just can't capitalize on them. And that's been something that's sort of plagued them the whole season.
Turnover. And so Dana, Virginia Tech on this side of the field, 6 of its last 7. Scoring against Sarah Adesh. And Adesh has had to deal with just a couple of really close-range looks several times today.
Yeah, Virginia Tech's doing a really good job penetrating the 8-meter and making it difficult for the defense to stop her, and then also for Adesh to even track those saves. It's a little bit easier when you're outside of the 8-meter for a goalkeeper to see where that ball's going. I think we're going to get another card here on number 18 for Louisville.
That's Sydney Kirchenheiter. So
she was in the face
yellow
guard.
card with 5:10 to go.
She's in the face guard against Vergano. Throwing elbows on the sidelines here.
Yes, sir.
My guess is something happened in the face guard. Vergano trying to break away, Kirchenheiter trying to D her up. Similar to basketball. And because it happened so far away from the play, sometimes the officials don't see that, but in this case they did. So a little bit of chippiness. I'm okay with that to an extent, but it can't be dangerous.
And so our officials are trying to make sure they've got it right. So they are done adjudicating that sequence. And so here you go. It's another player-up opportunity for Virginia Tech. At 21 fouls in the first 20 minutes of this game. Virginia Tech looking, Rishko fighting, and then peels back out. Up top. Vergano feeds it back to X, now to Frank. And then a whistle.
Shooting space call on Louisville.
Maura O'Malley again.
Flank.
So free position opportunity for the sophomore. She's 2 of 2 this year. Hey, great save by Adesh.
310 is when she gets off.
Not a bad first step off the 8-meter, but you've got to change levels with your stick. You've got to make a dash move. She was really able to track that. She just stayed high the whole time and was able to track that and see that ball.
So Louisville gets the stop, but then gives it right back. Another behind the back for Mardiney. She's raising the bar.
So that card does get released for Louisville. That is a beautiful behind the back. This is going to be her signature move. Why not? Do it once, do it twice. Beautiful ball movement. The defense for Louisville is just not aware She needs 3 defenders on her in order to stop her. Just a really beautiful job recognizing where the defense is. She can feel it on the back of her body, and then she just does it behind the back. Really pretty finesse shot.
4th straight game with a goal. It's a multi-goal game already for Mardiney, senior. And consecutive behind-the-back scores. Brilliant stuff. And, I mean, it's just been all Hokies now with just a few minutes left in the first half, 8-1.
So much so that Louisville will change their keeper. So 31, Jay Pleck will go in. And sometimes that is just to give your starting keeper a break. Sometimes it's a mental reset. The defense plays a little differently in front of a new keeper, so this could be a different look. We'll see if they keep Jay in the second half, but I think that's a smart move by Coach Teeter to change the keepers up.
Yeah, she's the sophomore from Georgia, so she's played in 7 games. Today, now her 8th. And Virginia Tech is very much in control in that draw circle today. That's a 7-4 advantage for Virginia Tech. Now, Mardiney has raised the bar with the behind-the-back flair in this first half. Rishko finds the senior. Curls around the arc and then back out.
The only comment that I would make for Virginia Tech on their offensive end is that they don't really have a traditional crease player, so you see a lot of the play coming above goal line extended. Now, Claire Shada will go behind the cage, but she's not necessarily comfortable attacking like a true crease attacker, ex-attacker would.
Oh, Rishko with a nice dodge, the pass, and a save. Rinaldi got a look.
That has to feel good if you're Jay Pleck.
Right off the sideline into the game and stopping that lefty shot from Kayla Rinaldi. So remember, our next All Access, the ACC Life, premieres Monday. It features the Pitt wrestling team, Georgia Tech, their men's golf program, and then Virginia Tech softball as well. So tune in to see these Hokies. Unprecedented access into the lives of the players, the coaches, the staff, everybody. 7 Eastern right here on ACC Network, also on the app. When the all-access piece about Dana Boyle's rebrand as a golf star still in
Golf
the works,
pro.
still being storyboarded.
Catch me on the Masters. Next year.
Well, there's better weather, too, I think. So after the restart here, Louisville has a chance. You've gotten into the Masters. At the golf game, is it coming along?
No, that's definitely lacking. Just a little bit. I got to hit the range a little bit more. I got to diversify the clubs that I use.
You got 15 of them.
I really only use the 9-iron, but I got the golf fit down. Like, you want to talk about outfits? All in.
That's
all in.
where, okay, on lock there.
But the game is a little bit behind the outfits.
So less than a minute now, Dana, until half. It's a 8-1 Virginia Tech lead. We're going to talk with Kristen Skyra before halftime when this half concludes. The Hokies, they have certainly dominated in a lot of areas. Rishko again beats Pleck, and it's 9-1.
I think I said on the last goal that you need 3. I think you might need all 7 defenders to stop Rishko.
Not enough.
Just a really good hard take. I mean, girl just has a knack and a nose for the cage. I love that she switches hands very quickly because she recognizes the defense is throwing a different look at her. Just her ability to move on the run is impressive, and she is young, and she is making an impact for this Tech team very early in her career.
Yeah, 4 goals on 6 shots today, so this is her 3rd game with 4 more goals. Yeah, very, very impressive freshman season. Got half a minute to go in this second quarter. Boy, how long does it take that? In Rishko's case, it seems like it comes quickly, but that confidence during your rookie campaign, a lot of it based on personnel, what your role is on a team.
It's also a big adjustment.
How does it develop?
It's a big adjustment coming from high school ball to college. The pace of play, uptick, the physicality. Athletes are stronger, bigger, faster. Looks like it's going to be a green card. That is a delay of game. That's a 1-minute penalty. So that will carry over into the second half.
It is 9-1, 15 seconds remaining in this first half. There's a shot fired high with 8 seconds left. Clock winding, Louisville backs it up. Torres out of the cage, but clock's going to wind and drain on this first half. Virginia Tech with a 9-1 advantage at half. And so Louisville
started a little
scored.
bit slow.
Yeah, go ahead, Dana.
They started a little bit slow in the first quarter and then definitely upticked in that second quarter. So I'm sure Kristen Skyra is happy about that. But
oh, we got the head coach right now.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm here.
You're here. We see you. You're here. Hannah Mardiney really added some flair to your offense. You guys started clicking in that second quarter. How do you maintain that offensively in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Louisville threw some audibles against us in that first quarter. I don't think that we adjusted really well, but with Liv in a face guard, with them going in and out of man in the zone, it was nice in that second quarter to have the offense near us as a staff so we could kind of walk them through it and identify and communicate. So we'll have to work with that. In the third quarter, we'll be far away from them, but I think they've got the hang of it. They've got confidence. And yeah, Hannah Mardiney, she made an around-the-world shot against Elon, but they called it back. So this was the first one that was legal, and so I'm really happy for her.
She's 2 for 2. It's making our jobs really fun. But you talked about the face guard with Vergano. How do you address that in the second half to get her some more touches offensively?
Yeah, I mean, I do think with the face guard, they are doing a great job. They're playing her really physically, and you know, the great thing about Liv is she can help us out in other areas. She can cause turnovers in the ride, and she wins a lot of draws from us, so she can still be a, you know, an active, really like fruitful member of the team out there. But I do think this is one where, you know, our teammates are going to capitalize off of Louisville keying in so much on Liv. So you can see it with Ella Rishko, right? Like Ella's just going to continue to drive at her and take advantage of no slide, and so, but we'll still continue to look to get Liv involved on offense in the second half.
Thanks for the time. Go get some hot chocolate. It looks cold out there.
You know, yeah, but luckily we're scoring goals and we're celebrating, so it keeps me warm.
The energy, the positivity from the second-year head coach, Kristen Skyra. Her team is in command. 9-1 lead after 30 minutes. The celebration's on point in Blacksburg.
Welcome back to Blacksburg. We got an ACC showdown between Virginia Tech and Louisville. Senior Mary Griffin has one of the most inspirational stories in college athletics. Not only is she a warrior on the field, but off the field as well. What's good is Virginia Tech senior captain Mary Griffin. In 2020, Griffin received a CT scan that revealed pancreatic cancer. Acting fast, Mary underwent surgery to remove 40% of her pancreas, her spleen, and the tumor. After a tenacious road to recovery, she was cleared to play 3 months post-op. Celebrating her 2-year cancerversary this past November, Griffin has been heavily involved in the Headstrong Foundation, which assists families going through cancer treatment. Griffin helps lead the foundation's Game Hair Havoc initiative that empowers athletes to style their game hair throughout the season. Turning devastation into positivity, Mary one day aspires to be a sports broadcaster. Mary, we hope to see you in the booth soon.
Nine to 1, Virginia Tech in command, in control at halftime. Plethora of scoring from several Hokies. However, Ella Rishko, it kind of starts and finishes with what she did today, attacking the cage, Dana. Take a peek.
My girl's having a day out here. This is TV magic. I love this. You can see how the play develops. They start out high. They did this in the Duke game too, and they play that little pick screen play. It starts up high in the top quadrant, and they just do a really good job of not only moving the ball to get Rishko open, but they also move the players around her, and that is what is creating so many opportunities. And for Mara O'Malley, we talked about her at the beginning of the game. She played so well against Duke, and she's making an impact in this game as well, really taking advantage, seeing the holes in the Louisville defense, and really making them pay.
And how about the stick work of Mardiney?
Around the world, behind the back, she's got it all. You heard Coach Skyra talk about it. Her creativity is what separates her. She's an older player. You can see how comfortable she is. She plays pretty well around the crease, but just doing a really good job creating offense for this Virginia Tech team.
Virginia Tech just put all the pressure on Louisville in that first half. Third quarter begins when we return to Blacksburg. Virginia Tech trying to make it back-to-back ACC wins. It has a 8-goal lead over Louisville. Third quarter is about to begin. And we are happy to be joined by the Cardinals head coach, that is Scott Teeter. Coach, we appreciate the time, and thanks for joining us here. Just assessment of the first half, what does it take for your team to spark and get back in this in the third quarter?
No, we just got to get back to the basics. We're making some stops defensively and then turning the ball over on the clear. In offense, we got to play with a little bit more tempo and pacing, a little bit. But we're making some stops defensively. We just got to clear better.
Coach, what went into your decision switching keepers in that second quarter and putting Jay Pleck? And can we expect Adesh to be starting in the third quarter?
No, Jay's going to start the second half. It's just to switch things up. That's all.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Well, good call, partner, because we saw Pleck come into the game in that second quarter, had a nice save, and so Coach is going to stick with the sophomore from Auburn. And again, all of these numbers favor the Hokies.
I think it's the shots. Louisville is getting some opportunities, but they can't capitalize. They went scoreless in the last 21 minutes and 33 seconds of the half. That cannot happen. I don't care who your opponent is. You cannot have a scoring drought like that. And I think the draw controls, they look relatively even, but Virginia Tech is getting possession off the draw, and then they're capitalizing by putting the ball in the back of the net.
Again, just using the wave of momentum on the heels of last week's win at Duke, in which they dominated that battle in terms of draw controls, won 20 out of 32 against Duke. That was a 3-overtime win, and replicating a little bit of that magic. Kristen Skyra's team in a great position. So the Cardinals have struggled in the second half of games this year. You can see the averages compared to what it's done in the first half. It is worth repeating, though, Dana. This Cardinals team is without its top goal scorer in Nicole Peroni, who accounts for a quarter of its goal production. Peroni, red card last week in the loss at Clemson, has to sit in the stands away from the team and is unavailable today.
Their goal scorer, but she also does a lot off ball. So she leads them in ground balls, cause turnovers. So she gets a lot of those gritty stats. So you can tell that they're really missing her in this game against Tech.
You're right on. She leads the team in both of those categories, the cause turnovers and the ground balls. Senior playmaker, not with the team today. Unavailable, rather. Virginia Tech scored first, and then Louisville knotted things up late in that first quarter. But as you referenced, they went through quite the scoring drought. Did not score again the final 21-plus minutes of the first half. And so it needs quite a impressive spark. See if it can get any sort of momentum going in this third. So now we're back at full strength. Rishko is trying to work off that screen momentarily. Instead, feeds it back up top.
Better defensive
That one was
effort.
jarred away.
That's a good adjustment defensively. They like to attack from that quadrant, Virginia Tech, and you can see that the Louisville defense closed the gap to make that lane inaccessible.
Now, we just heard Coach Teeter, discussing his thoughts on this second half. As a team, mentally down 8 without one of your top players. I mean, how do you approach this in terms of, hey, let's take one step at a time to try to get back into this?
I mean, he said we have to get back to ourselves, but I'm not necessarily sure what Louisville looks like because I haven't seen them play a full 60 minutes of an effort. But, hey, how about that goal? That works.
Kokoro.
That starts something.
Yeah, Nakazawa, even just to get the first one out of the chute in the second half.
It's been so fun and rewarding to watch Kokoro Nakazawa's journey and game grow. You talk about growing the game. She came from Japan, comes to Louisville, absolutely loves it, stays during winter break, and to watch her development on the field is just really rewarding. Just a great spirit for the game and just really loves the game of lacrosse. And I love how her teammates have embraced her. Her coaches have embraced her. You can see Coach Teeter giving her some good wishes on the sidelines. 15th goal this season.
Yeah, really wonderful. And now both with her sister, the freshman first-year player Negai, now on the roster. You have the sisters here in Louisville. From Yokohama, Japan, they went to Nihon University Senior High. And both are integral pieces, in the midfield this year for Louisville.
And that's what growing the game looks like, and it's been really fun to watch their journey. I love the confidence that they're playing with. Coach Teeter told me last year that sometimes Kokoro would come off on the sidelines and start chirping him a little bit, giving him a hard time. And this year, Kokoro and Negai, they played a joke on Teeter that they actually had a third sister. So you can see they're comfortable in the program, and Coach Teeter's a good sport, but I think he fell for it.
He was almost going to have to readjust the recruiting budget.
Yeah.
Take that first-class flight to see the third sister. But he details the story well. This was a few years ago when a Canadian U19 national team that Teeter coaches was in Japan playing a friendly, and he notices the best player on the field that day, and it was Kokoro. He goes, "There's something here. Let's start the conversation." And that was the relationship with the family. Of course, Kokoro, a couple years older than Negai, comes here first. Her sister follows. Really talented players that just keep getting better. Oh, here's a close-range look. And a rip. And a score. Maura O'Malley gets it to go.
Kevin, that's not her name anymore. It's Hero. That is her new nickname. It's Hero. She did it in the Duke game. She's balling out in this game. She just goes through 4 Louisville defenders. Just does a really good job with her stick, evading them, and places the shot really well. She doesn't shoot it that hard, but it is very much finesse.
Where's the Foo Fighters song then?
She needs to change her goal song. We gotta tell her. We gotta send her a text.
Then.
We gotta put in a text on the sideline. Who has their phone down there?
Well, next time you're talking with Coach Skyra, you can make the adjustment. There you go, third career multi-goal game.
And she's got a great
Is it
attitude.
a pull-up? Is it a pull-up for every goal? Is that 10 pull-ups now?
We've got some creativity on the sidelines. I don't like when they throw players up in the air. I feel like that's very dangerous. So that was a condensed, safe celebration.
I mean, you are not embellishing, though, as it pertains to O'Malley. Again, the game winner in the third overtime last week against Duke. Today, we have seen her abilities fully on display. And not just the game winner, the goal at the end of regulation with, what, 2 seconds remaining to send the Duke game into the extra period.
She's got some serious endurance, but I like her story. She struggled a little bit during preseason. Coach said she was a little bit too robotic, just trying to be perfect. And she's done a really good job of taking feedback from Coach Skyra and really leveling up her game. And she just brings this unmatched enthusiasm. That's going to be a block.
Louisville coming back the other way. Nice passing. Louisville in the attacking third. Would you change the goal song year to year to just stick with one your whole career?
It depends.
You didn't get too superstitious, did you? Louisville, nice score right there. If this was in Kentucky, we'd cue the goal song. This time, the Cardinals now with 2 in the third quarter.
I played about 10 years ago, Kevin, and I'm not even sure that they let us choose the goal song. I think it was like 3 or 4 songs on a playlist on repeat. I can't really remember, but this was a much-needed goal by Louisville. They need some momentum. That was a momentum goal. Great shot.
Yeah, Lauren Figgis, sophomore from Parkland, Florida, so now 3 goals on the year for Figgis. And again, the offense, it's got to come from somewhere else today with Peroni out. That's 2 for Louisville in this third quarter. You know, and scoring has been the biggest issue overall, in a sense, for the Cardinals this year. They're at the bottom of the league in terms of goals and shots overall.
Good hustle.
A team that is looking for that first win since early March.
Yeah, Kevin, I think a lot of it, unfortunately, is on the shoulders of Nicole Peroni, who is out with a red card after the Clemson game, and then Hannah Morris, who we haven't really seen step up like she was so accustomed to doing last year. And I think they're missing that leadership on the field and that emotional leadership from Peroni. But Hannah Morris can get it going, too. She just hasn't been able to find the net.
Rishko draws the contact. Yeah, and right there you just see the pressure that Rishko puts on you as defense.
That's going to be a foul on 22, Maggie Foster. He just goes so hard to cage. That wasn't intentional by any means, but the stick did roll up the body of Rishko. It got by her neck. It was horizontal, extension of the arm. So that is a foul. And she got a yellow card for that.
So Virginia Tech, another scoring opportunity, and they've got the advantage once again with a 7-goal lead early in the third. Rishko fighting through, somehow avoids the red rush around her.
And Louisville needs to be careful defensively because that is their 3rd yellow card as a team, so the 4th one is non-releasable. They need to tighten it up defensively.
Pleck with her 2nd save. That time it was Shada who got right to the doorstep. And Pleck, who replaced a Desch late in the 2nd quarter. A couple of bright moments in this game.
And I think that's what we heard from Coach Teeter. He said we needed to make a change and we need some momentum and we need a spark, and sometimes your goalkeeper can do that.
Fleck, just a sophomore. She's appeared in 7 games. Again, has been behind the dash this year. But 2 impressive ones for Pleck. Louisville still a player down. This is Kokoro Nakazawa. Over to this side. Catalano. Pushed out.
I'd like to see them attack from a different quadrant. They kick it over to the left side. Oh, there we go.
Now, sister to sister that time on the pass. The freshman Negai had a good look.
This is a good option as well. Invert the play, take it from X.
Oh, great concentration that time from Alexa Steffens. So 3 goals for Louisville in this third quarter. Has it back within 6. Steffens with her third of the year.
When you have ball movement. So they inverted the play from X and they kick it to Steffens, and that's how they were able to find that success in the goal. Really good job by Louisville. They're coming back. Do not count them out.
Couple weeks left in the regular season, Dana, so here we go. ACC tournament around the corner. That first round would start on April 23rd if the tournament started today, which it doesn't. But if it did, you see Virginia Tech, they're right there in the 7th seed, so that means they would play in that first round. And again, the top 6 get that bye into the quarterfinals. So teams beginning that final push for better seeding.
I think those 4 teams that are in the play-in game are probably happy that the ACC tournament does not start today. But it really is a battle in the middle. It's a madness in the middle. All these teams, Virginia Tech, Louisville, Duke, they're all fighting for the same thing. So these in-conference games really do matter. BC is playing Notre Dame right now, and BC has the lead 6-5 at halftime. But that game is a battle in South Bend. So the ACC is a gauntlet.
You're bringing the alliterations I see in the third quarter. Have you trademarked madness in the middle yet?
Not officially. It did go out in an email. Thank you, Jody Dank, for using
right.
my tagline. But we could get it branded. I'm okay with that. Maybe get some sponsors, help with the golf game.
Well, I mean, you've got, 7 teams in the ACC ranked among the top 25. So you referenced the Notre Dame game. That just speaks to the strength of the league. Every year after year.
All 10 teams make it in the ACC tournament too. So, but not all 10 teams can make it in the NCAA tournament. So you really are fighting for a spot.
Syracuse, you saw the 1 seed, unbeaten. So they're one of the 2 remaining unbeatens in college lacrosse. They're 13-0. Denver also unbeaten. As Syracuse offensively is a freight train this year.
Can't stop them. You really can't even miss the first minute of a Syracuse game because it'll just be 6-0. You have to start from the very beginning. You cannot go get coffee. You cannot go get a snack. You got to stay and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, talk about not getting your money's worth. Virginia Tech back on this side of the field. Oh, brilliant recognition. Rishko cutting to the right spot and scores again.
I love the ball move from Hannah Mardiney. She makes herself a legitimate threat, and that's how number 5, Rishko, gets open. Beautiful job in front of the cage. That's not easy to do when you turn and you're that close to the goalkeeper. She does a good job of just changing her levels ever so slightly to put it in the back of the cage. She is on fire today.
Well, she really just seems to be displaying all of the abilities and all the talents, particularly on display today. And so 5... So that's now 11. Yeah, again, 11 goals, I'm assuming.
11 push-ups. That's good. That's a good one. I like that. We should clip all of these sideline celebrations and then have a SportsCenter top 10 for them. of all teams in the ACC.
Yeah, speaking of a brilliant Twitter account right there, just the running log of all of the celebrations. It's 11 there on the flat barbell bench. Rishko, USA Lacrosse All-American in high school and certainly entered Virginia Tech with a lot of upside, expectations, a little bit of hype. And so she has been the go-to scorer. With Vergano, being covered pretty aggressively at times today. So Rishko has stepped up.
And this is big that she got this off the draw because she hasn't had a lot of touches with the ball because she is being face guarded by Kirchenheider, which Louisville does a very good job in the face guard. They run that defense very well. But you can see Virginia Tech taking advantage of it because when they pull Vergano out, it really is a 6v6 game, and that's a lot more space to attack.
Oh, there's Vergano. Pleck, another nice one. Feeds it ahead, and so Louisville gives it right back. And then the whistle. And that time Frank went down, so another card coming, and that's Ava Coyle, who senses it immediately.
And that's the 4th subsequent yellow card for Louisville, so it is non-releasable, so you have to serve that penalty for a full 2 minutes. So that is a huge win for Virginia Tech. They get to take their time on the offensive end. Again, it's just that horizontal stick and the extension of the arms into the head, neck, and body. That's what the officials are looking for. Very much a point of emphasis the last 2 seasons. The officials have done a good job this game, keeping it clean and keeping it safe.
Seconds on the player up. Vergano, that one hits the pipe. Bounces wide.
So
Rishko scoops it up.
Reset.
Yeah, new 60 seconds, 50 on the timer for the Hokies. Up 11-4, led 9-1 at the break. Rishko draws a crowd again. Vergano muscles through and scores. The emotions released there after her first goal of the afternoon.
I'm a little surprised that Louisville sagged off the face guard to even allow her to get a touch, even close to the 8-meter. And when she does, she takes advantage of it and goes 1v2 versus 2 Louisville defenders. And you can tell that stick drop has a little bit more extra oomph in it. She needed that goal just probably for confidence level and to feel like she's a part of the offense, although she is doing so much off ball that I don't know if it goes recognized to the casual viewer, but that has to feel good for her to get a goal today.
Stick drop. I mean, that was a stick spike.
I know. It was beautiful. I'm so sad that I never got to do that when I played. We didn't have a stick drop. You didn't have to drop your stick. I feel like I missed out on a lot.
all the FOMO is washing over Dana. Meanwhile, you have Coyle who's still sitting and with Virginia Tech up by 8. And boy, you draw the penalty and most comfortable chair you have is the lunchroom fold-out chair.
Get this girl a jacket. It's cold out there.
More comfortable seat I would appeal for myself. Scott Teeter's team down 8.
It appears that there's a green card. which is a delay of game. So it could have been a foul that happened after the shot. I like to call the green card an administrative foul. So if that's the case, if it was a foul off ball, Virginia Tech will start with the ball here instead of going to a draw.
Yeah, and you nailed it. So it's a green card, and Virginia Tech still with possession. 52 seconds left on the player up advantage. Just all Hokies in this one. Whew. And again, it's 13-4.
All right, 26 is released. Yeah, 26 is released.
That was Pipe City. You knew that shot was hard because you could hear it ricochet off the pipe. Just beautiful job. Maybe she's the crease player, Hannah Mardiney, that they don't have. Maybe she starts attacking from X because she's done it a few times in this game and it looks effortless. Just a really good job vision-wise. Doesn't have a big angle coming around goal line extended, but puts the ball in the back of the net. She's excited on the sidelines.
Second hat trick of the season for Mardiney. And so Louisville, Virginia Tech, in total control. I think it's a great point. You referenced it previously, Dana, about that crease attacker, that X-attacker for Virginia Tech is, can Mardiney, as we get a little gritty style here on the sideline. Can Mardiney, just back to that topic, be a capable player in that role for Virginia Tech?
I think that all 7 players on the offense are a threat for Virginia Tech, but yes, you see some people attacking from X, but they don't operate a lot of their offense from X. So Hannah Mardiney would probably need to get a little bit more comfortable with the feeds.
Rishko, another. I mean, she is just toying with this team now, so we can count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make it 6 for Rishko.
6 goals, and that is running clock. So now Virginia Tech is up by 10 goals, so the clock will run. So huge advantage for Virginia Tech. Again, she's attacking from goal line extended. It's really difficult for Louisville to track that and for the goalkeeper to be able to turn around and see where the play is developing from. What is this? Turntables? DJ. Okay, there we go. The cones are the cones are the turntables. That's a good one. I like that. That might be my favorite so far.
Yeah, putting them to good use or a better use. Virginia Tech is delivered on the field and on the sideline today.
The only other ACC team that I would say rivals Virginia Tech with the sideline celebration is Notre Dame.
They bring some heat.
They bring some heat. They do throw players up in the air, but it's fun to watch. It's entertaining.
So that was what you were referencing before. We Notre Dame reaching a gymnastic-like level.
Truly.
AKA, to use your word, dangerous.
It's a little dangerous. I mean, it's basically like a trust fall, but you're throwing players up in the air when they score. But they have fun with it. We have fun with it in the booth.
A trust fall with getting thrown up in the air. I feel like that's being disloyal. I was told it was a trust fall, and now I'm getting thrown around. Because there was a lie involved in this. You mentioned it, though, running clock with Virginia Tech ahead by 10, and all it takes is one team to be ahead by 10 or more. So Virginia Tech, at one point, had a 3-1 advantage early in this quarter, but then Virginia Tech has just started to turn it back on again. And so Rishko, it's official, the 6 goals, that's a season high. Had 5 against Elon last month, but 6 today and maybe more.
Every game she just keeps getting better, more confident. She's certainly not playing like a freshman.
Paige Tyson finds the back of the net. Her 14th goal of the year. First today, and it's 15-4.
It's been
Louisville
fun to
again
watch.
without Peroni. Just doesn't have the firepower here.
It's been really fun to watch Paige Tyson really come alive. I think she's back to her level of productivity we were accustomed to seeing last year. And they're playing loose. They've got the lead. Really good score.
Skyra was super pleased with how Tyson played in that Duke game as well. So remember, it's worth noting on the Virginia Tech side as well, the Hokies playing without, particularly one of their top scorers, that's Blair Guy, out today with an injury. They just lost Lauren Render last week to a season-ending injury. This is her second straight game that she has missed, and so even despite those absences, it's still a large Virginia Tech advantage on a day that Louisville doesn't have its top scorer. Take a peek there at the bottom. ACC baseball featured matchup Thursday. Top 20 battle. It's Miami and North Carolina at the Boshemer Stadium. So coverage starts at 7. It's on the ACC network. Also on the app. So take it anywhere. The whistle before that shot attempt with the clock winding inside of 40 seconds here in the third.
Yeah, nice flop.
And another yellow card. That's 5 for Louisville. I think this is a point in the game. Third quarter is really what plagues Louisville. The wheels start to fall off, and you see some of those emotional fouls come out, but Virginia Tech is already up by 11, and now they're a player up, so you got to stop the bleeding somehow.
Our official has had to check just about every pocket there to find the card. Extra layer on today. Official's wearing the jacket. It's cold. Temperatures a balmy 40. Might have peaked to 45. 4 seconds to go. End of the third. Virginia Tech by 11. Hokies making a statement 3/4 of the way through this one in search of its second straight ACC win. Virginia Tech with 15 after 3, an 11-goal lead, over Louisville in Blacksburg today.
Now, Virginia Tech just closed out that third quarter 8-1 on the draw control, and you have to wonder, is it because of the Southern draw? Shout out Kristen's dad, Stephen Wagaboo. He built this. He's an engineer. So essentially, you use this as a draw taker to get reps. So you don't have to go by yourself in the corner and do draws without actually having a stick to mimic it. So it mimics a real draw stick. It moves up and down, and you have to wonder, did Dad know that they were going to dominate at the draw, so he built this thing? Shout out, Dad. He's got to patent that.
He got the school colors, like, down to the exact Pantone color. Brilliant. And you're right. I think there is a potential business venture somewhere mixed in here for Dad.
And, too, so much of the draw circle is wrist strength. It's repetition. It has really become a technical position, so that is such a great invention.
Speaking of engineering, I struggled with replacing the batteries on my carbon monoxide alarm this morning, so I marvel at what Dad did. Don't have quite those instincts.
You and me both, Kevin.
Chirping stopped, I can report.
Just rip it off the wall.
Yeah, that's the catch there. Really is spectacular stuff. And it paid immediate dividends. The win last week against Duke, in which Virginia Tech controlled at the draw. This is Rishko. Oh, my goodness. Another. She's got 7.
Are we sure that she's a freshman? Can we check that eligibility? Are we sure? Because she is not playing like a freshman. She is so lights out. It is so fun to watch. Watch out ACC World. Watch out NCAA. You got to put a body on this chick because she loves to find the back of the cage. Just really good job. Right to left shot. Shoots it off stick side. And the offense is moving around her, and that's what creates those opportunities. I think Virginia Tech has done a really good job capitalizing on the off-ball movement.
And look, Dana, Virginia Tech's 2-4 in ACC play. They let that game against Boston College slip away a couple of weeks ago. A two-goal defeat to the 7th-ranked Eagles. Can you put this maybe last week and a half into context for Virginia Tech in terms of where it sits in the ACC? But this season is by no means over in a sense in terms of possible appearance in the NCAA tournament. You know, what's the importance of the final stretch of this regular season like for Virginia Tech?
To me, that Duke win is sort of the turning point for them. Kristen Skyra believed that they could do it, but I think as players, you get that marquee win and you start to think, okay, we can do this. This is why we're working so hard. This is why we're making the sacrifices. So when you have that belief, Kristen Skyra talked about it, you know, you start to play a little bit differently. You start to play with a little bit of chip on your shoulder. You have that confidence, and you're seeing it. I mean, they have 7 different goal scorers for Virginia Tech. That stands out to me with such a young attack as a really good trending direction for them as they move into ACC play, because you have really good defenders in the ACC, and they're going to shut off players like Olivia Vergano. So who's going to step up? Today it's Ella Rishko.
And that belief was perhaps conspicuously missing a year ago for last year's team.
They had pieces of it. You could see some highs, and then you saw some really low lows, but Kristen Skyra took over a program that didn't really have a lot of culture. And so she's had to develop that. Relationships off the field are important. That's how you develop chemistry on the field. So she's done a really good job in a short period of time. And it helps to have some veteran players like a Mary Griffin and a Jordan Tilley.
A couple of seniors that she has indicated she will miss. Yeah, but I'd be very curious, because you've been there. You know what real belief, what that feeling of walking into a location and saying, we're going to win today. You know what that's like. How does that evolve? What is it like when you're on a roster that's got a lot of it?
They have a lot of talent, but I think the shift for me has come from walking into a game thinking we have nothing to lose versus walking into a game and saying, we're going to win this. So that little tweak and that shift in mentality for them has made the biggest of difference.
How about Negai Nakazawa?
Just a really hard 1v1. It looks like they're calling a stick check. The goal is good. Okay, so maybe the foul occurred, I would imagine, on number 45. You can see Frank. The stick in her face. Yeah, Kayla Frank. And also something to note, new goalkeeper for Virginia Tech. Lily Canapel is in cage, so Jocelyn Torres maybe just getting a break on the sidelines. You got to rest her, keep her healthy. So 45, Kayla Frank will get a yellow card. 2-minute releasable penalty.
With 11:30 to go in the fourth. It is 16-5. It was 1-1. That was the only time that we were tied, and then Virginia Tech took off in that first, has held a lead in a large one really since the latter stages of the first quarter. But Louisville's got the player up opportunity. That one into traffic, swatted down, and Canapel scoops it up. Just the 4th game for Canapel. She's only played in 60 minutes. Couple of saves. She's allowed 5 goals in limited action. And so if you're Virginia Tech, you start to look ahead at Old Dominion in a couple of days. Next weekend is an important one against a team that Virginia Tech is, at least as of right now, tied with in the ACC standings. That's Clemson. Although the Tigers have to go up to the Carrier, or Whatever we're calling the
JMA
dome
Wireless
these days.
Dome. Come on,
Whatever-
Kevin, you're
whatever
a
the
Syracuse
branding is.
grad. Get with it. JMA Wireless Dome.
Evidently, a lot of my fellow graduates are sternly opposed to even referring to the building anything other than the Carrier Dome. That's right, the JMA Wireless Dome.
I only know that because I was there a few weeks ago, so don't worry. If you would have called me out a few weeks ago, I would have had no idea.
Virginia Tech is taking a timeout. 10 minutes to go in the fourth. Virginia Tech up big. Look, the goals have been good. The celebrations have been better. We've got some jousting. We've got some gymnastics. Dana takes some notes. I don't know what's going on there. I don't even know who this kid is, but he rocks it. He's got the gritty going on. Great celebrations today.
A++ on celebrations.
I mean, were you taking notes? You're obviously a big golf fan now, okay? As it's been clearly documented. The secret's out. Yes. Not even ashamed to admit it.
No.
But were you taking notes on the form?
Yes,
Okay,
because I go for...
We got to expand your game beyond just the 9-iron. Evidently, that's your favorite / only club you've acknowledged that you use.
I love it. I tend to go for power versus finesse, and so watching that swing, and honestly, I talk about it a lot in the lacrosse game. I say, you don't always have to go for power. I don't listen to my own advice when I'm at the driving range because I just want to hammer the ball with the 9-iron. So taking notes, taking my own advice, finesse.
How about the driver then? I mean, that's where you can really hammer it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten comfortable yet. The 9 is where I feel comfortable. I don't like to
Not
branch
ready to
out
take that
much
next
with the
step
clubs.
yet to the
Not
driver.
Not yet.
Speaking of golf, Brooks Koepka is still aboard the Masters leaderboard, much to the delight of the PGA Tour. And this one is going back to Virginia Tech. Well, remember, we've got all the spring game coverage here on the ACC network. 10 of them on ACCN or available on ACC Network Extra digitally. So the next game that will be featured, Miami, on Friday at 7:30 Eastern. All Virginia Tech today, 16-5 lead.
And 7 different goal scorers, Kevin, which really stands out to me. And Ella Rishko has her 7 goals are the most goals in a game for a Virginia Tech Hokie since Paige Perry. That is very impressive because she is a freshman. She is 19 years old.
And the confidence just continues to build. Now, entering this game, she was second behind Vergano with 20 goals. Boy, she dang near almost caught her today.
There's still time left. We got 7 minutes left. It's very possible that she goes to 9.
Virginia Tech with a statement performance today, and again, with 7 and change left, it would take certainly a miraculous effort. Louisville might have gotten one right there if that one feathered past Canapel. She tried to smother it right on the goal line, and that's good.
Yeah, the officials counted it a goal, but I think they maybe thought it didn't cross the line, but you can very well see that it did. So a goal counts, has to cross that white line. Took a weird bounce, probably because of the weather, some of the rain, but that is most definitely a goal and a much-needed one by Louisville.
And so we spin it back to Louisville on the heels of the Catalano score. So likely staring their 7th straight loss down at this point. Again, just a gauntlet of a schedule. Boston College, UNC, they had to go at Marquette, played Syracuse, Clemson, this Virginia Tech team, and coming up, in ACC play. That is, they finish with a ranked Duke team and on the road against a ranked Notre Dame team.
And that's difficult to go to South Bend, whether you play at Arlotta or you play in their indoor. That's just a difficult environment. Notre Dame is very physical. They've got a lot of veteran players, so that is a tough way to end their season. But when you flip to Virginia Tech, their season is likely could be winnable. All of those games are winnable. They could finish not losing a game. Again, that Clemson game sticks out to me in Virginia. They beat them a few years ago, so that's a really great ACC rival that's sort of developed over the years as Virginia Tech has maintained this dominance and really gotten better.
Well, and Skyra mentioned that. There's another for the Hokies, the latest coming from Tyson again. (17-6).
I've been really impressed with Virginia Tech's offense. They look night and day than last year. They're moving the ball. They're getting players open. They're finding the middle, tiptoes around the crease there. Just a good job. They operate from X and they come up top. Really good job by number 15 getting open. Paige Tyson, we talked about it, but just getting back to her level of productivity that we've seen. 5th multi-goal game for her. Really tall presence, too, in the middle. So you got to put at least 2 bodies on her because she's tall in that 8-meter, and the feeders can find her a lot easier.
Yeah, 5'11", the senior now with 15 goals. A quick reminder, by the way, for all the viewers that are looking for Notre Dame, Louisville softball, that one starting on the app, and we will send you there at the conclusion of this one. I thought Skyra, Dana, was pretty candid about that, looking at it from this perspective. Hey, of course, we want to bolster our ACC record and seeding in the tournament in a couple of weeks, but we almost look at these final 5 games. Let's go one at a time, but let's put the pressure maybe on a tournament selection committee. Let's win them all and maybe put ourselves in a good position to receive an at-large bid. Again, there's so much that has to play out before that.
Right, and I think beating Duke is helpful, but that is not going to guarantee you a spot in the NCAA tournament. And also on top of that, they've got to beat, if they beat Virginia, that makes a really good case for them, and then they do well in the ACC tournament.
Inside of 4 minutes now, 17-6 the score. Again, the Hokies, they scored first. Louisville then knotted things up a couple of minutes later. So it was 1-1 for a few moments, and then Virginia Tech went on a run. Took a large lead, or a sizable one, into our first quarter break, had an 8-goal advantage at half, and ahead by 11 now with that running clock and approaching 3 minutes to go in the fourth.
In an 8-0 run for Virginia Tech, and this is how critical it is to go up by 10 goals and have a running clock. You maintain possession, you have the momentum, and they just keep chipping away at that lead.
So one last reminder to let you know all the next All Access, the ACC Life, premieres Monday. Features Pitt Wrestling, Georgia Tech men's golf program, Virginia Tech softball team as well. So excellent coverage. The All Access folks, I should say, do wonderful stuff, just highlighting, documenting lifestyles, the daily, day-to-day of players, coaches, staff, everyone. 7 Eastern, ACC Network, also on the app. Where are you headed next before the ACC tournament then, right? In a couple of weeks?
Where am I headed?
Yeah, who do you see next?
Who do I see next weekend? Ohio State, Northwestern. So we're going Big Ten. outside of the ACC. Ohio State not having a great season, or probably the season that they want. They did beat Louisville, so it should be interesting. The Big Ten, another gauntlet.
So yellow card here with 1:51 to go.
So it looks like the officials are going to call a yellow card. Whitney Liebler for a dangerous shot. So you do have to be in control, although we love the behind the back. It's a fancy finish, but you have to know where your stick is finishing. And if it hits a player in the head, that is a dangerous shot. You've got to be in control of your shot.
Virginia Tech, though, 17 goals on 26 shots today, so it's a 65% shooting percentage, well above the season average of about 44.
You're not even doing your job. You got like 12 goals.
And so Virginia Tech, just about a minute and a half away from improving to 3-4 in ACC play. They'll get back above 500. They'll improve to 7-6. And as we mentioned, with a little midweek battle at ODU, Old Dominion coming up, and their final ACC tilts against Clemson, and then at Virginia.
Sometimes those midweek games, Kevin, like an ODU, those can be trap games. So they have to show up for that game. More so, if not more important than this Louisville game. You cannot lose those games.
Yep. Yeah, every game, the importance grows surrounding every game at this point in the season. So a very convincing win for Virginia Tech. And I'd be curious of your perspective on, just where is Kristen Skyra going to be most pleased with of what she saw on the field today?
My guess would be the offensive efficiency. She talked to us that the offense is sometimes a question. We don't know what we're going to get from it, and you saw them really take a stand in that third quarter. They pull away by 10 goals. Anytime you can go up on a team by 10 goals is really impressive. So I think you're finding and seeing some of that identity that she wants to pull out of her offense. So they're shooting just above 65%. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, just super production offensively. Rishko had the 7, a new career high in a game. 7 of the 17 for the freshman. Pre-position look for Louisville, and that's a brilliant one. That time, Cycle got it. Top shelf with 6 seconds to go, and the clock runs out on Virginia Tech's 17-7 convincing ACC win.